quicker. It's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful um, Ramesha Shapiro. He's the one that brings this down in a sefer called Imre Das. I think my chavrusa for finding this to me. I would never been able to find this sefer. But it's actually something that we learned together in Gemara and Sukkah. This week we have the Kruvim. What were the Kruvim? What do they look like? The Gemara taught us Karavia, like a little child. Like a little child. There's a fascinating mechilta. I will be the first to profess. I don't think I ever knew this. Do you know that all the kalim in the Beis Hamikdash could be made out of any material? Even the menorah, which we know was of gold, the menorah mikshachas, Mitzal didn't know how to make it, they threw it into the fire. But lamaisa, if you don't have the gold, bisman Beis Hamikdash, I think we spoke about this Hanukkah time, they didn't have gold. So what do? They made the menorah out of wood. All the kalim can be made from any utensil. Says the Mechalta, aside for one. There's one keli that you cannot change, and if you don't have that utensil, you just don't have the keli. And what is that? That is the keruvim. The keruvim have to be made of gold, which if you think about it is incredible. The menorah can be made out of wood, but the keruvim have to be of gold. I know the keruvim are chashiv. I know the keruvim are in the base in the kodesh hakadashim. But the menorah had to be miksha achas, which means it was a block of gold, and they had to chisel out the menorah. Something even Bezalel, even the wise Bezalel, when Ruach HaKodesh couldn't fathom how to do it. Moshe Rabbeinu had to tell him, you throw it in the fire, and yet the keruvim, says Moshe Shapiro, you know what we see over here? We see an incredible, obvious, simple, but nonetheless important lesson in chinuch that we have to remember. The lesson is children are and will always be and have to always be treated as gold. I don't care anything in the world. The menorah could be made out of wood. The shulchan could be made out of something else. But the kids, there's no such thing. Says Ramesha Shapiro based on this medrash. There's no such thing as a child that is not zahav, that is not gold. And he continues and he says that, of course, the highest level of this is where were the kruvim? The kruvim were on top of the aroin. What does this point us to? This points us to the children learning Torah. This points us to having the appropriate Yiddish chinuch approach. This points us to that I'll just read you 2 lines over here. What is the purpose of a child? It's a good question. You go out into the world, what's the purpose of a child? You go to China, you get one answer. You go to America, you get a totally different answer. You go to different places. I don't know. What is the purpose? I don't know. Good question. Why do we have children? Says the Torah, you know what the purpose of a Tinaka Yisraeli? Asher miyoim amdu al daitai. For the moment he has a mind, a love lechavein, panav kelapi akapiris va'aroin. Is we take this golden child and we put it on top of the aroin, lahavinu lahaskil. Little Torah mitzvah, small to go after other things, but always on top of the Torah. And it's a lesson. It's a lesson that we have to remind ourselves. And we'll end with that same line, which is a line which I think we have to always remind ourselves. We're not physical bodies with spiritual pursuits. We're spiritual bodies clothed in physical bodies. We're spiritual pursuits. We are the neshama. What is a child? Child is a shining neshama. It has to be zav. And of course, when the child shines, when the child is that zav, when the child is the yahalom, that diamond, it's easy, it's kishmak, it's beautiful. But what is the Torah teaching us? Everything else could have a substitute. There's never a substitute in the world of our children, in the world of our chinuch, in the world of our relationship with our children, anything less than zav. Zav is the highest. Zav is the most expensive. Everything else, we could do other things. And we threw in a line one week, and with this I end. I just want to see the line again. This is something to elaborate on one day. What is the purpose? What is the tafkid that we have in this world? I heard a shmooze from Rabbi Elephant, Baruch Hashem, and he was actually giving a shmooze, and he told me afterwards that he got a lot of flack for this line. But he says it's pashut, all of Chazal teach this to us. What is the purpose of us in this world? And he told me he was talking to a very, very from, very, very stark Israeli yeshiva. And he got up and he said, you know why we're on this world? We're on this world for our family. We're on this world for our children. We're on this world to be machanich, the next dar. And this is kol haTorah kula. We can bring raises, but people hear this. What do you mean? We're on this world to be a Talmud Chacham. We're on this world to learn kol haTorah kula. Which is all true. And of course, that all goes part and parcel. But what is number one? And we have to orient and reorient and remind and re-remind. The Kruvim resolve. The Kruvim cannot be anything less. And even at moments of difficulty and moments of challenge, at moments of who knows what's going on and things are flying, literally. But the kids are gold. That doesn't mean there's no such thing as chinuch. That doesn't mean there's no such thing as saying no. That doesn't mean there's no such thing as boundaries. And I didn't just take sides in World War machlekes. Whether there is a machlekes or not is not even a discussion. But one thing no one could argue on, Rameir Shapiro, I think it comes in Rameir Shapiro, right? Rameir Shapiro, the Lubliner Rav, is teaching us that what is a child? A kruv, gold. Let's remind ourselves of that always. Shkaya Chevra.